It will not be out of place to say the police needs to be sanitized. In one of such attempts, the Inspector General, Usman Alkali Baba, has ordered that no policeman should stand on any road in any part of the country in mufti or disapproved t-shirts. According to a statement by the acting Force Public Relations Officer Muyiwa Adejobi, policemen detailed for patrol, stop and search actions and checkpoints duties must be on their approved uniform, not a t-shirt with inscriptions like Special Forces, Commando, Gallant, Mopol, Scorpion, and so on. He said policemen found wanting would be arrested and dealt with. But some are yet to comply, as we see in some vital videos of policemen caught in some untoward acts. Watch this now.
Hello? Hello? Is it the motor? He's coming down to talk with you people. See harassment. I don't know anything. See how they're harassing me. See harassment. Am I the one that right? Is it Yes. Record. So, am I an umbrella? Are you doing that?
Is he a criminal? Is he a criminal?
GKB, we just had a little debate here. Are those men we saw in uniform?
Approved uniform?
Approved, well, it depends on, because Nigerian police has become a litany of uniforms that we cannot really say. I thought the one with the fatigue was the official uniform of the Nigerian police, but you still see some in black, you see some even in blue and dark blue. So I think the IG needs to really work very hard to stamp its authority when it comes to the way our policemen dress. Because as you know, as you say in secondary school, you are dressed the way you are dressed. And you cannot have the full implement of authority given to the Nigerian police officer if you are looking ragged and in t-shirts. In most countries, even in Africa, when you see a policeman, you know he's a policeman. Even in countries like the Republic of Benin, where they only hold a baton and a whistle, they say carry the authority.
That's it.
Of securing the people.
Adekunle, at the time we heard stories that policemen in this country, in our country, in my country, your country, buy their uniforms. And so the problem had always been who clothes the policeman in this country?
I think it's the employers that should clothe every policeman and woman. But in Nigeria, you know
You are telling me?
No, everybody knows this story. They've come out to say they buy this, they use their money to do this. But the directive from the IG is very clear. The Nigerian populace, the public gets frightened, confused many times when you see all sorts of characters carrying guns, terrorizing people.
In certain uniforms?
Without wearing uniforms. Some will just put a face cap that will show Mopol. I think the IG is aware of this. When I read the statement from the IG, I said, yes, this man knows the true, depth of these problems.
But as it stands, who buys the uniform?
The state.
The state, right?
The state. But in this case, some of them, you will see a policeman wearing jeans, with one colored t-shirt or whatever, and putting on this and all that. And they're on duty. You see them on the roads. So if they commit a crime, how do you identify them? If you see a policeman in uniform, it's easy to identify because the name, designation, so many things, number, rank, everything you can, especially if you are knowledgeable enough. But a policeman who appears like anybody and carrying a gun, how do we distinguish him from other criminals who masquerade as security agents? Because we have seen many kidnappers dressing like soldiers, like civil defense people, like police, like all of that. Believe me, this is one directive that, in my opinion, shouldn't just be one of those directives from the IG that will go, without, being implemented. The IG should do everything, because despite the crisis of NSAS and whatever followed, the policemen are still busy intimidating people, harassing people. Then you ask, what were the gains of NSAS crisis? Because it's a watershed in our history. Have we gained anything out of it? To me, I don't believe we've gained anything, because police harassment is still, if not worse than before. I see with my eyes, people and you watch a lot of viral videos. You watch, is it the same policemen that Nigerians, complained about? I believe by now there should have been a lot of reform that will orientate the public character of our policemen. That we are not seeing.
JKB, what we're saying in the footage tells me that if you wear a clean uniform, you must have a clean character.
And you must represent the force.
Yes.
In the best way possible. But we also have to go back to the fact that who buys the uniform? Because that is fundamental to the problem we are facing today.
Because if the state buys the uniform, it presupposes that every policeman will be clad.
Will be fully kitted.
Yeah.
Or are you insinuating that many of them don't have enough that since they have to buy?
No, the point I'm making is that when you talk to the average policeman, even at IGP, they will tell you that they buy their own uniforms. And sometimes there's a cacophony of colors that you can spot in a journalist.
No uniform.
And you know that this is not working. Again, it's not that in other areas people don't use T-shirts or use non-tactical uniforms.
Or that you should not.
But you should know.
Easily identifiable.
The name will be there because it is done for you specifically. Your name, your rank will be there.
Yeah.
So the same thing applies to whether you wear full uniform or wear special forces uniform. Problem in Nigeria is that everybody just assume that everybody is meant to do same thing. You see, they call you a mobile police unit, and you are doing
the job of
a traffic police.
Yeah.
And then a traffic police officer that you know very well, designated by their cap, will now be doing house arrest. And there's a lot of problems attached to the uniform. The first thing the IG needs to do is standardize the uniform and then separate it so that the man on the street will know. I'm talking to a traffic officer. I'm talking to a Mopol. I'm talking to the one with the blue cap.
Yeah.
A special forces unit.
Yeah.
So once you know that, the person can no longer harass you.
JKB, their beret will tell you if a particular policeman is of the medical corps,
the education corps.
That's it.
No, but everybody wears the face cap now. So
at this point, we'll join BKO Babajide Kolade Otitoji in Abuja. Jide, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, citizen.
Yeah, Jide, you must obviously, there's no gainsaying that you have seen uniforms and policemen and policewomen. So this order has come. You think it will change anything?
No, it all depends on the enforcement. What we know from history is that it's difficult to get our people to change their ways. It's not as if the police had not made efforts to clean up the excesses of its officers and men over the years. Remember, we had the escort of the Inspector General of Police that went about arresting policemen who were found to have extorted money from road users, from drivers and their conductors. But it didn't stop them from the habit. Some of them even devised other means of keeping money that they had extorted from commercial bus drivers. So the enforcement has to be there, and it has to be very effective. If it is not effective, it will just go the way of other directives that the police have made over the years. With every new Inspector General of Police, we hear about checkpoints being abolished and all that in favor of motorized patrols. But our policemen still prefer the checkpoints to motorized patrols. And motorized patrols are a lot better. It means that you are not static, you are constantly moving. You know, so that wherever crisis is spotted, you can easily nip it in the bud, and nip it in the bud in quality, in good time. So I see policemen shabbily dressed, some of them even wearing a pair of flip-flops that we like to call slippers in our country. It's just not right. I don't see policemen dressed just anyhow in other lands. When you see the American policemen, you feel like even becoming a policeman, because they'll be so neat, they'll be so cute in the way they are dressed, you know, with their shotguns, not these long rifles that we see our policemen carry all over the place. So the determination has to be there to enforce this directive, because how do we differentiate a policeman from a Boko Haram member who is merely wearing the uniform of the police? I mean, things have got to be better. The other arms of the armed forces, they dress better than the police.
Yeah.
And you see an Air Force officer, you'll be able to differentiate, you know, him from other people. So this has got to, things have got to change.
Yeah.
And I want to believe that this IG means well, and he will be able to enforce this directive, at least for once. Let's have a change.
Right.
Let's have a change. We were told that they were going to withdraw the numerous policemen guiding VIPs in our country. But as you can see, that has not been done. Or it was merely done, I mean, it was merely announced so that it will set panic in the ranks of the VIPs, and some of them will come up with money and all that. Because we still see them, you know, following VIPs all over the place. Sometimes up to 3 or 4 policemen guiding somebody who is not even holding any elective political position in our country.
Yeah.
So and we now lack policemen, not policemen, to do the job.
All right. Well, Mr. IG, we thank you. We hope the cleanup exercise will start from the recruitment ground, GKB and Adekunle, because whether or not you are going to have a good police or a bad one will begin from the recruitment ground.